Hey y'all, it's Adriele and welcome to episode 2 of It's the Bread Aisle, a show that is dedicated to Black women for Black women, where we come together, we knowledge share, we talk about experiences, we laugh, we cry, all the things that we feel like doing. That's what we're doing here. But on today's episode, we are talking about scarcity mindset. So, what is the scarcity mindset? It's the Bread Aisle was birthed out of this idea of scarcity mindset. It's actually something that's been researched. Psychologists have looked into it, but the concept of, being scarce or having scarcity in some way leads you to possess a scarcity mindset. So I want to quickly play a clip from NPR's Hidden Brain, a conversation about life's unseen patterns. And this particular episode talks about the scarcity mindset. The episode is titled, How the Scarcity Mindset Can Make Problems Worse.
When you have scarcity and it creates a scarcity mindset, it leads you to take certain behaviors, which in the short term help you manage scarcity, but in the long term only make matters worse.
This is Sendhil Mullainathan, an economics professor at Harvard. A few years ago, he and Eldar Shafir, a psychology professor at Princeton, started researching a hypothesis. It went like this. When you really want something, you start to focus on it obsessively. When you're hungry, it's hard to think of anything other than food. When you're desperately poor, you constantly worry about making ends meet. Scarcity produces a kind of tunnel vision, and it explains why, when we're in a hole, we often lose sight of long-term priorities and dig ourselves even deeper. Sendhil and Eldar say the psychological effects of scarcity can be seen in many areas of life. Among lonely people who lack companionship, even among the very busy who lack time. In all these cases, they argue, people need to recognize how not having enough of something can make us so maniacally focused on short-term solutions that we lose sight of our priorities. In those moments, they say, it's important to look up, to notice we are inside a tunnel. Shankar Vedantam, NPR News.
So I've just seen that concept, it's challenging to navigate when you are in sort of the contrast, which is a growth mindset, an abundance mindset, recognizing that, I don't have to always be in scarcity mindset, that there's actually something for me, that there's abundance. I am a Black woman, but I carry a lot of intersectionalities. But from my experiences, I've encountered a lot of scarcity mindset, and I struggled really early on in life to really understand how to navigate the scarcity mindset. Once I stepped out of it and started thinking about growth and abundance, it just became harder to navigate people that have not stepped out of the scarcity mindset, to help them kind of understand and also just get them to trust you. It's interesting. When people feel that there's scarcity, there's also kind of, from what I've seen, a lack of trust, which is interesting. So I don't know, but the scarcity mindset is toxic. It can be detrimental, and I think it really slows you down in some instances. I think it's really important for Black women in particular to be mindful of a better way of saying scarcity mindset that more of us, more Black women, I've noticed are familiar with is crabs in a barrel. And I'll just pause here to say that I didn't mean to imply that crabs in a barrel is a better way to describe this mindset, but rather a more familiar way. Crabs, they tend to, if you put them in a barrel, they're all trying to get out, so they're climbing over each other. And so that same concept or theory, I guess, is it even a theory, has been applied to Black women in a lot of instances. I remember growing up, I was a vocalist, I would sing, I would do talent shows, and there was this, again, scarcity mindset. There only can be one really good Black singer or, whatever it is, or one great Black artist, and that's not true. The Bread Aisle, there's room for all of us, and we can be different in our own unique way and still make space. And so that's what I'm talking about with the scarcity mindset. When it comes to growth mindset or abundance mindset, on the other hand, it's when you just start to let go. I can give a little bit more to receive more, right? And be open to that and not feel as though I have to get something in return, but know that you might get something in return, and that's okay. For example, this show is also about me checking some of my biases and opening my mind to other perspectives as well. I've always been very open-minded, but even though I'm receptive and I listen to other people's opinions and thoughts, I often still just kind of ingest them. But in my mind, I'm like, that is I won't say it. I'll just be sitting there like, oh, okay, interesting. But what I found, especially of late, with me not allowing myself to have that internal dialogue and just really listen and think about what people are saying, I found that it's just opened my mind to so many other things, so many more perspectives, so many different understandings of the world, right? I think, you grow up and you learn that the world is one way, and then you start to realize that there are all these other different parts and layers, and it's a lot. I think just being open to that can help you in a lot of ways in life, in terms of just finding clarity, in terms of finding yourself, in terms of finding what it is that you like to do in this world, in terms of finding confidence, in terms of just saying, hey, I'm taking up this space and this is going to be it. In terms of whatever, insert whatever you want. This has been another episode of It's the Bread Aisle. I would love to get a guest on soon to talk about the scarcity mindset versus growth or abundance mindset. I have actually 2 people in mind that I would love to have on. I hope they will join me, but it's something that a few of my friends and we bring up often, and I think it's something that not enough Black women are privy to or don't necessarily have the language to talk through what it is. And so that's another part of what the series is about, is really providing people with shared language and understanding of terms so that we can actually have meaningful conversations. But again, it's the Bread Aisle. As always, my favorite quote, a goal without a plan is just a wish. Thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of It's the Bread Aisle. Please drop a comment below and let me know what you think. And if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like and subscribe.